Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, IT still costs money, right? Like it still costs money, and it's very common for IT departments, especially when it comes to purchasing things, to receive some type of pushback or justification, and that's never going to change because that's smart business, right? But it's nice to see that decision makers are understanding, and also not only understanding but also getting more involved in the impacts of what solid IT practices bring to the table. So it's good to see that number.
Yeah. Now, one number that we wished we had seen improve a little bit more that it had was the number of hardworking SME IT folks that it had a raise. Since the start of pandemic, how has your salary changed? Most common answer, 4 to 3%, was it's still the same. Not shocking. SMEs have had a hard time. There have been PPP loans. A lot of folks are just really trying to adjust and get through. But you see SME IT professionals working harder than ever before, taking more satisfaction in their jobs than ever before, still dealing with some degree of being overwhelmed. But the budgets for their salaries hasn't really increased that much. Most really haven't had a raise, even though they're more respected and listened to than ever before. But the good news is, while their salaries aren't increasing, the budgets they're receiving to get the job done, overall IT budgets, 3 out of 4 say, yeah, they actually are growing. And there's a slight double-edged sword here. When you get more money for IT, you also get more expectation. It's awesome that you won your budget argument and you get more to work with. And then sometimes the company just expects you to work miracles. So it's really important to prioritize, okay, I've got the more money, where am I going to spend it? How will I put it to use to make sure that not only can I drive good results, that I can drive results in a way that works for me, that's manageable, that's sustainable, that's easy. Because what I can't do is just invest in 20 tools and then have to invest all the time it takes to manage and use those 20 tools. But the bottom line is, it looks like for the most part, IT and SME has got the budget that they need to get it done. And it looks like that trend is going to continue into next year, because we asked, do you expect your IT budget to grow? And it was pretty good to see less than 4% say it's going to go down a little bit. For the most part, it's going to go up, which does indicate a light at the end of the tunnel. And this corroborates the data on they're being listened to, they're being recommended. And clearly SME IT is recommending, hey, the world has changed so much, we got to change to, there's some new great tools out there to use. And a combination of that budget authority plus that internal respect, it's leading to increased budgets. And Ben, just curious to get your take based on what you're hearing.
Yeah, I mean, I start to see, the conversation around necessarily cost, right? Cost of things have been, as the year started progressing, you started to see that the cost was still something that was being thought of, but people were more focused on solving the problems of their organization. And so just kind of reinforces, hey, as business leaders start to get more and more in tune to what is needed when it comes to their IT strategy, they will make some better decisions or some different decisions as it comes to maximizing their budget for that.
Got it. I also just want to call out, you can use this data if you're one of those 1 in 5 that isn't getting an increased budget. You can actually use this information to say, hey, look, on the whole, SMEs are getting a little bit more budget, we're behind the curve. Or you can use it to justify the budget increases that you've had. Now, we are going to get to the security and scalability information soon, but we just want to finish grounding ourselves in the baseline. What does it feel like? And for the most part, we want to emphasize, most of the people we listened to felt like their budget was adequate to meet the need. I've got what I need to work with, but that doesn't mean that running IT for an SME is easy. As we're going to see, the admin challenges are huge. And when we asked about, well, how is that money being spent? What we heard loud and clear was, a lot of them were saying, I feel like we're spending the right amount on security to enable remote work, but about 1 in 3 were like, I think we're overspending on that. I think we could be more efficient with that. So there's an opportunity to streamline, but clearly there's an equal split here. People that disagree or are neutral and agree that spending the money the right way and balancing the security of remote work and the ease of remote work, that's going to be a trend that we see. But still, like, it's good to see that we're tackling the right issue here, because remote work is going to be such a high priority in 22. It's the big thing to wrestle with, and that's what we're going to look at pretty soon. Ben, any other comments on this before we take the next chapter?
No, it's very interesting just to see that in the raw data, because talking to people, 2021, people were throwing things, when I say just throwing it to the wall and seeing what sticks, right? Oh, I have this problem, let's fill that with this. I have this problem, let's fill that with that. And they maybe they did overspend on solutions because they had their legacy stuff and they needed new things. So and not one solution necessarily solved it all, when they were first reacting to this. So but as you start to look for more efficient ways going into 2022, you're going to start to see organizations and people, from what I hear, looking to trim the fat, quote unquote. And that might be interesting to see. And they might even start to look at getting some external help, maybe supplementing some of their gaps there in IT. So.
Please subscribe and check out more content from us.